But for one man, the turbulence of that era was just the beginning of an extraordinary story.
It wasn't me. I didn't kill this guy. I kinda did. Wait, that was his descendant. I still can't believe it. I still can't believe this is happening. How can it be that just beyond the doors of this quiet little chamber is the highest court in Japan, waiting to decide my fate? I was going to record more Neptune Rebirth 2, but decided that I might as well do a bit more grinding before. What? Oh, no, nothing. Save your glares. Murder. Sorry. My name is Rinosuke Naohodo. I'm a second-year student at the Imperial Yume University. 2 days ago, I somehow found myself in the middle of a horrifying incident. And now, here I am, awaiting my trial. That's enough. He's not obliged to listen to such abuse, officer. And who are you? I'm this man's lawyer. I'll be defending him today. Yes, and until the judge has given his verdict on the case, no one has the right to treat him as a criminal. So you will hold your tongue. Technicalities, look at you. You haven't even graduated yet. And yet, I still seem to know better than you how a court officer should behave. Right, Rinosuke? Oh, yes, of course. Sorry. What are you apologizing to me for? Oh, no, it's what I was. But really, Kazuma, I never meant to drag you in this. So. There you go again, apologizing. Just like always. Though I must say, you've been all over the newspapers these past few days. Yume University professor murdered in cold blood by a student. But obviously, you didn't actually do it, did you? Of course not. You have to believe me. I didn't do it. I could never murder someone. And there's nothing to it. Straighten yourself up. Hold your head high. You mean... I believe you. I know you're innocent, Rinosuke. Kazuma Osogi, my best friend. Also a second year at Yume University. He's far more clever than I. Star student, in fact. He's a qualified lawyer. Professor, considering he's still an undergraduate. So that's nothing impressive. The very concept of lawyers is only a few years old. Here in Japan, anyway. My qualifications don't mean much, yet. You said exactly the same thing 3 days ago. But I'm proud to have a friend like you, Kazuma, truly. 3 days ago. Yes, that's when all this started. Congratulations, Kazuma. Looks like you're going to get to study abroad at last. I know. I have been forever dreaming of this day. Finally, those government elites have acknowledged my academic achievements and successes in court. So you'll be representing Japan as you immerse yourself in the most sophisticated legal system in the world. Be happy for you. I'm proud as a friend. There's not someone in the university who doesn't know Kazuma's name. A living legend. Like there's some mysterious aura going around his temple. I want to bring about change in our own legal system. That's why I have to cross the ocean to see the real thing with my own eyes. The heart of the British Empire, which I could see too. You can come in. We'd have a wild time tearing up the streets of Her Majesty's City of London together. If only it was that simple. Oh dear, look at the time. I better be going. Alright, I'll see you later. I think I'll stay and enjoy this place a while longer. straight after that. That's when it happened. So, here, I have a word. Professor, I didn't know you were coming. Well, in this case, has personal significance to me. But never mind that for now. So, here, you should go immediately to the judge's chambers. To His Excellency's chambers? Why? He was looking for you before. You're advocating for the defense in this trial was a sudden decision. Seems there may be some confusion about procedures today as a result. Who is this man? I know I've seen him at university before. I see. I'll go at once. I shall accompany you. Alright, send me Inosuke. I'll see you in the courtroom. Yes, thanks, Kazuma. This is awkward. Hi, Mary. Yes, sorry. You must be the defendant. Inosuke Naruhodo, I believe. Yes. No idea why I gave him the judge voice. Just fitting. My name is Eugene Mikotoba. I'm a professor of forensic medicine at Yuma University. Professor Mikotoba. I've heard the name from Kazuma before. So, of course, he's been pushing to get the government to agree to Kazuma studying abroad. Sergio has told me about you. You and he are best friends, I understand. As such, I feel you should know. Know what? Well, as you've no doubt heard, Sergei has been granted permission to go and study in Great Britain. However, if you should fail to defend in today's trial, I'm afraid that the permission will be revoked. And never granted again. What? As I suspected, you're unaware of this. I had a feeling that Sergei may have chosen not to tell you. He's agreed to defend me, knowing that if he fails, his dreams will be shattered? But I don't understand. Why would the government do such a thing? The administration has to choose from a large number of applicants for overseas studies. It's very difficult to persuade them to grant permission, even in the most favourable of circumstances. I don't believe it. But I didn't do it. I swear it. I'm not a murderer. I'm sure that's true. Nevertheless, I assure you that proving innocence will be no easy task. You see, there are certain peculiarities about today's trial. Sorry? What do you mean? You'll soon understand once proceedings get underway. But then what should I do? Well, actually, I'm not going to suggest doing anything that could lead to conviction. Right. So, as soon as the trial starts, the judge will pose a certain question to the defense. When that happens, you must answer before anyone else. You must say, I do. I do. But what will the question be? Surely not, do you accept the accusations brought before you? Oh good, I didn't. Makes sense, but it's starting. Of course not. Defendant! Quite about to begin. Proceed to call him at once. I would seem our surreptitious discussions have been cut short. So allow me to summarize. Kazuma Sergei must not be the defense lawyer in this trial. Of course, as the defendant, the final decision is yours. What are you waiting for? Do you want to be found guilty for failing to appear? Get moving! There's no point in anyone advocating for the likes of you anyway. This is it. If this trial goes badly, Kazuma's dreams of studying abroad are over. What's more, I'll be found guilty of murder. And so, with absolutely no idea of what lay ahead, I embarked on that unforgettable trial. My one and only chance of proving my innocence. The trial would decide my destiny. 22nd of November. Wait a minute. It would have been funny if I started this 2 days ago on the 22nd November. So this is a courtroom? The Supreme Court of Judicature. New court in land has more power. I don't much like the look of these people in the public gallery. Some military and other uniforms in there. The powers that be have demanded that this be a secret trial. Secret trial? Trial is closed to ordinary members of the public. Only military and government officials may attend. What? But why? It will become clear in time. But for now, we need to concentrate, Inosuke. It's about to begin. The court will now hear the trial of Inosuke Naruhodo. The prosecution is ready, Your Honor. As is the defense. Before we begin, there's one point of order I would like to discuss. Yesterday evening, the defense made last-minute request for a change of advocate. That's correct, Your Honor. Your Excellency, I made the request myself. Normal procedures for the defendant's advocacy to be decided 2 days prior to trial. As this is an unusual circumstance, I'm obliged to ask for final confirmation now. Who advocates for the defendant in this trial? This is it. This must be the question. Who's going to defend me? That's the question the professor made. But then, if I say you do, you need to answer quickly. Which I do. Answer I do. Your Excellency, no confirmation is needed. As I'm standing here beside the defendant, it is clear who will advocate for his... What is the meaning of this unruly outburst? I would like to inform the court that I, Inosuke Naruhodo, will be defending myself. You'll be what? What are you playing at me, Inosuke? Professor Mikotoba told me everything. Just now before the trial. He did what? He said that your dreams of studying abroad would be dashed if you were. How sad. Means you don't have faith in me. Think I won't be able to get you off? No! It's not that, really. Just some... Well, on the off chance that things don't go well for me, I couldn't bear to be the reason that you... Yes. I knew that's how you'd feel, which is exactly why I decided not to tell you. Professor Mikotoba should have stuck his nose in. Very well. The court hereby recognizes the defendant's desire to advocate for himself in today's trial. Well. Has he accused admit defeat already? Renouncing his own counsel?
Objection!
Really? Make no mistake, counsel. This merely shows that the defendant's innocence is so apparent he's confident he can speak for himself. Isn't that so, Naruhodo-san? Oh, yes, exactly. Exactly what I wasn't thinking. I'm not confident at all. In fact, my mind's complete blank. I realize you're in charge now, but still, try not to look so bewildered. Well, from a university student brought before the Supreme Court, you must have perpetrated a most heinous crime indeed. As you're no doubt aware, this is the Supreme Court of Judicature of Japan. Accordingly, there's high standards of conduct expected of all prisoners. Do I make myself clear, Defendant Naruhodo? Yes, Your Excellency. It is therefore my duty to assess your competence for the task you've undertaken. My competence? What does that mean? He's questioning your ability to do the job. But you can't be questioning it more than I am. So let's start with the very simplistic questions. Oh, yes. Kindly state before the court the name of the victim in this case. Well, that's easy enough. I've heard his name more times than I'd care to remember. But, wait. so nervous, I can't even remember that. What was it again? For your nose, Kate. Let me guess. Your mind's gone blank. You know me so well. All the relevant information for this case can be found in the court record. But I can't even find that. It's simple. Yeah, if I'd forgotten something, just sort it out. It's all in there. Alright, there's no time to lose. This is the list of evidence you've collected. Now, try switch. Very well. You'll find details about the victim here. When you're done, just press circle to give up. So remember, everything to do with the criminal case can be found in the court record. Now, you'd better not keep His Excellency waiting any longer, Phil. Find the victim in the People's Fiction. It's Cosmo.
Yes!
The victim's name was Dr. John H. Wilson. Well, at least you can remember the name of an esteemed member of your own university. Dr. Wilson was a visiting professor from England invited to the university 3 years ago. Indeed, which is the reason why this case has such profound implications. The British Empire, at present, our country's most valuable foreign ally. As most of you will be aware, we have just signed a new treaty together after lengthy negotiations. There can't be anyone who hasn't heard of the Anglo-Japanese Treaty of Friendship and Navigation. I haven't, but then again I wasn't alive back then. And yet, despite these delicate circumstances, the blood of an Englishman has been spilt in our soil. You two are both undergraduates of Imperial University, are you not? A professor from the very institution that provides you education. Have you no honour? I didn't do it. This court is coming under great scrutiny from our allies on your side of the world. The court therefore wishes for speedy resolution to this matter. In other words, our feeble government is scared of upsetting England's policy markers. And you're a convenient, expendable scapegoat to blame for this crime. Makers and markers. So that's why this trial has these unusual peculiarities, isn't it? Exactly. The government aims to convict someone as quickly as possible. All because the victim was an Englishman. Yes, Dr. Wilson was an Englishman. But nationalities and treaties won't make any difference for me here. The fact is, I was there at the scene of the crime. The British Empire. Wow, it's incredible to think. Wait. I've seen that man at university. She's a visiting professor from Great Britain. I don't know his name, but still. I should go and say hello. So I went over to the professor's table and introduced myself to Dr. Wilson. Now, let me pose my next question to your defendant, Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. How did this Professor of Medicine, Dr. H. Wilson, lose his life? Gunshot to the chest. State before the court the cause of death. The cause of death? Well, obviously, that was, Venus King. Remember that in court, every assertion must be backed up with evidence. By evidence, but how? Find a piece of evidence that shows the professor's cause of death. Present it. Do it now.
Yes!
Well, according to this document, the victim suffered a hemorrhagic death due to gunshot trauma. Time to read, you imbecile. There's a post-mortem report, take it. Sorry, yes, that's right. The post-mortem report. In the West, the doctor dissects corpses to identify the cause of death in an autopsy. But here in Japan, a police officer merely inspects the body and draws conclusions after. Oh, I see. I'm not going to be tested on any of this later. This is a so-called photographic print from the scene of the crime. You can clearly discern scorch marks around the bullet hole produced by the powder explosion. In other words, we should assume that the victim was shot at close range. Thank you, Counsel. The court will accept this modern scientific evidence into the record. So that's a photographic print. Oh, that's something I've never seen before. Clearly superior to the drawing. Details incredible. Very well, I'm satisfied with the answers. Let us start the trial. Certainly, Your Excellency. So without further ado, in order to better apprise the court with the facts of the case, the prosecution hereby calls its first witness who was there to see the crime when it happened. Ugh, this is it then. I think I may have worked out what the professor had in mind. The professor? You mean Dr. Mikotoba? Yes, clearly you're the defense lawyer today, not me. But that doesn't mean... Well, I can select as your assistant. Ah, of course. When you were speaking with me before, you simply said Kazuma Sergi must not be the defense lawyer in this case. He really has been sticking his oar in, hasn't he? Maybe, but any help you can give me would be greatly appreciated, Kazuma. Well, my first piece of advice is rein in that crazy look of bewilderment and control the code sweats. Only if you rein in that crazy headband and control the code stairs first. Witness, state your name and occupation for the court, please. Of course, my name is Satori Hosonaga. I'm the head waiter at a Western style restaurant called Le Carnival. Are you alright? You seem to be coughing up some, It's a regular occurrence. It doesn't bother me. I really, really should. Wait, he's fucking 29? As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign As everyone knows, the capital's southeastern quarter was developed for foreign visitors some years ago. It's become a very fashionable district now, full of hotels to accommodate overseas guests. This grim crime occurred in one of the district's so-called restaurants, an Occidental eatery, 3 days ago. Understood. Hosonaga-san, you will kindly tell the court everything you can about the incident. At once. And no petty interjections from the aspiring lawyer boy, please. Oh, aspiring maybe, but aspiring? It was just after 2 p.m. on the inquest. We have few diners at that time of day. The lunch time rush was over, and there were only 3 tables still occupied. That fits in with my memory of it too. There was hardly any... When I was in the kitchen putting away crockery and cutlery, gunshots rang out, so I hurried out to the dining area to see what had happened. I found the victim, an English gentleman, slumped in his chair. Sitting immediately beside him, gun in hand, was the accused university student. Hold on. Let me just clarify something. While I did pick up a gun that I found lying on the floor beside the professor, I didn't shoot him. I believe I asked you to refrain from petty interjections. The court wishes to listen to witnesses report what he saw, you amateur. But... The next time you interrupt at an inappropriate time, you will be penalized. Defendant, no. Don't worry, Inosuke. I'll have your chance to fight back. For now, we must just quietly listen to the If I may confirm one point, waiter, standing beside the victim with a gun in his hand was the same man you see here in court today? Yes, without question. I see. And apart from the accused, was there anyone else standing beside the victim? No. There was no one else around the table but the deceased Englishman and the university student. Huh? Wait. What did you just say? There was no one else around that table. What's the matter, Inosuke? That's just not right. When I went over to Dr. Wilson to say hello, there was a woman sitting opposite him at his table. Really? And that's not something the waiter could have missed. I warned about interjecting, but still, what should I do? Interject?
Yes!
Just a moment, please. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone that day.
Objection!
Dear me. What are we going to do with you? We are blatant disregard for court proceedings. I'm beginning to wonder if you're not a fraud. Kusanagi-san, is there any chance you're mistaken? Perhaps your memory of events is hazy? No, the deceased gentleman came to town late. I don't believe it. You actually have a rough plan on the restaurant as it were that day? Please, have a look if you'd like to. Certainly, sir. Schedule the establishment's lawyer. Layout. Drawn by yourself, I assume. That's right, I'm afraid I used a backline business card. It was a turbulent situation. However, as you can see, the gentleman in question was seated alone. Well, you're clearly very conscientious, waiter. Thank you, sir. The court will take this plan and add it to the court record as evidence. Oh, well, is there a problem? I'm the plan to the court officer at once. Of course, here you are. What's that about? He's been completely calm and collected. Something certainly seems to have shaken. So, the court has now heard the process of the case. Yes, at the moment the gunshot was heard in the restaurant. The only person... Damn it! The only person in close proximity to the victim was the defendant on trial today. Assume you're looking at a black and white case here. Defendant Naruhodo. Yes, Your Excellency. You admit your guilt at this stage. The court is willing to look mercifully upon you. In other words, you may have some small reprieve in terms of your inevitable punishment. I call this waiter as an unsworn witness in order to explain the details of the case to the court. But I must warn the defense if you're determined to pursue matters further in this trial. And the prosecution has decisive evidence from sworn witnesses who were present at the scene of the crime. What do you think I should do, Kazuma? What do you mean? Well, I'm going to be found guilty one way or another, it seems. Wouldn't it be sensible to plead guilty at this stage and hope for a more lenient sentence? Everyone keeps telling me that this shrine is unusual, about these peculiarities. You've said it, Professor Mikotova said it. So is the judge in the prosecution. I'm scared of what lies ahead if I push this. As I said from the outset, I believe you're innocent. I trust you. And yet, despite knowing that, you're willing now to throw that trust back in my face? Is that it? What? The accused is in fact innocent, and then a defense lawyer is duty-bound to prove that innocence by whatever means necessary. You're just going to abandon that duty? You're going to give up on yourself? The battle hasn't even begun yet, Minovsky. The defense pleads not guilty, Your Excellency. You invite the prosecution to stop making empty threats and bring out its witnesses. Then we'll see just how decisive this evidence really is. Indeed. Prosecutor Archie, please continue your proceedings. Well, you are warned. The young can be so reckless. You know, many call me a saint, but I can be devil when I want to be. In a few short moments from now, that dumbstruck young mouth of yours will be silenced forever. The prosecution calls its next witnesses. Very well, officer. Bring forth the witnesses at once. Witnesses, kindly state your name and occupations for the court. Yes, sir. The Great Nippon Imperial Army's sergeant. Yes or no, sir? Report for duty, sir. Myself, I find employed the purveyor of fine articles of antiquity from the efflorescence of our nation, Nippon, and conduct my trade from Masate, a humble premises in the 2nd District, Kiryu Karakuta, at your service. An antique dealer and a soldier? What an unusual pairing. Decided I'm just going to mix the original voice I had for the judge with what I've been using to this point. Otherwise it'll sound too strong with the voice I give. Sound too similar to the voice I give strong out. Both of these gentlemen are present at the restaurant on the duty in question. They must be the diners on your table that the waiter mentioned. Myself, I habitually take tea of the most exquisite aroma at the establishment in question, always post-moon. I can't understand the word now what man is saying. He's an antique dealer. It sounds like he's regular at Le Carnival. He seeks out potential customers who may have an interest in antiques and tries to sell his wares. He obviously targets Le Carnival because it's a high-class restaurant with rich clientele. I see. Although, to be honest, that sergeant looks more like he'd be a seller rather than a buyer. Now you both witnessed the precise moment of this most atrocious incident, is that correct? Affirmative! The enemy unit was seen attacking the phone in what can only be described as an act of war, sir. Or a damp black uniformed rogue infantryman over there who unloaded his firearms, sir. This man is impossible to understand as ever. I'm almost sure I heard a strange noise during that last thing he said. Why is it that he said that the exact moment I coughed? So this is the decisive evidence the prosecution was threatening. The soldiers claiming he actually saw the precise moment you shot the victim dead. Yes. Well, are you starting to feel uncomfortable? If I'm honest, I was feeling uncomfortable from the start. Now the court will hear your formal testimony, please. You will state everything you saw at the precise moment that the incident occurred. Oh, yes, sir. I'm ready to report, sir. Unsavory memories of a most acerbic afternoon. I ordered just in regulation beef steak at the restaurant when... Damn it, there's like something cutting me off from talking. I was in just a regulation beefsteak at the restaurant while having a tactical discussion with the old man. Myself, I was extolling the virtues of a particularly fine golden curio to the military gentleman. At that precise moment, a firearm was discharged. I observed the enemy's actions with my own eyes. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian. And from the back, the cavalier breathed. I was on my hands and knees investigating the whereabouts of my mysteriously absconded precious curio. Well, so you, Sergeant No, sir, actually witnessed the vital moment? You saw the split second when the defendant fired the weapon at the victim? Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. How wicked university cadet, sir. The cruel and unforgivable enemy. What times we live in when an English gentleman may be assailed in the broad light of day. But this is ridiculous. I didn't shoot anyone. Is that really true, Inosuke? Yes, all I did was pick up a gun that I saw lying on the floor. I tried to say hello to Dr. Wilson. I went back to my table and started drinking some coffee. Then, when I'd finished, I got up from my seat to leave the restaurant. But I noticed an English-made gun next to the chair where the professor was sitting. I thought perhaps the professor had dropped it. So I bent down, and just as I was picking it up, well, if that's the truth, there was obviously a criminal on the scene somewhere. Somewhere in these two witnesses' testimonies, there's a clue as to who the criminal was. There is. Inosuke, you must exercise your right to cross-examine the witnesses. Cross-examine? Do it now! As we have heard, Your Excellency, there is no room for doubt in the testimony of these witnesses. The defendant is clearly guilty. It is time to bring this despicable student to justice. Certainly, the testimony the court has just heard eliminates any vestige of doubt. Therefore, it is my grave duty to declare the verdict of this. What in the name of the Emperor is the meaning of this outburst? I mean, the defense demands its right to a cross-examination. Dear me, dear me. Let me guess, the Hachimaki headband boy next door told me to do it. How pathetic. Huh? How did he know? The prosecution objects. This is a clear waste of time. The defendant obviously has no experience. How could he possibly carry out cross-examination? The defense is asserting its right to cross-examination. Whether or not you think he's capable of it is irrelevant. Kazuma is so commanding. Very well. Let the defense conduct a cross-examination of the witnesses. Alright, this is when the battle really begins, Inosuke. But I don't even know what I have to do in the cross-examination. It is obvious. You have to expose lies in the witnesses' statements. How? You didn't fire the gun, which means what that soldier said had to be a lie. Well, yes, but it's just a case of proving it. And the key to doing that is evidence. Evidence. All you need to do is present some decisive and indisputable evidence that proves a witness's lying. Now let's go, Inosuke. Don't let them beat you. Alright then. It's all or nothing. No? Okay.
Yes!
What are you playing at, cadet? What is the meaning of this subordination? Thrusting some photographic print in my mustache. Inconsistency, sir. I mean, yes. There's a clear inconsistency here. What nonsense. What can this print possibly tell us that we don't already know? Well, obviously. No, I know what I want to say, but words just won't come out of my mouth. I think this proves beyond any doubt, Your Excellency. And there is no place for an amateur student here in this grand courtroom. So frustrating. Oh, please. Surely this doesn't require an explanation. It can be more plain. To spell it out would be an insult to the court. Kazuma, what? What are you talking about? It's apparent from a single glance at the photographic print presented by the defense that there's a clear discrepancy here with the sergeant's statement. What? Sergeant, yes or no, sir? Yes, sir. What, sir? The statement you just made was this. The black uniformed varsity cadet fired on the English civilian, and from the back the cowardly little weasel. Yes, sir. Affirmative, sir. I witnessed crime with my own military-grade eyes. But no, that just can't be. And why not, cadet? Because... Take a close look at the print. The victim, Dr. Wilson, died from a bullet wound to the chest. Sergeant, according to your witness statement, the culprit shot the victim from behind. And that is an obvious discrepancy here. Well, how do you explain it? What? What was that? Somebody just popped up from behind his back, but he pushed it down again. Certainly, there was a clear discrepancy with the facts. Would you not agree, Sergeant? No, sir. Yes, sir. At this juncture, that would appear to be indisputable. Until the moment I heard the firearm discharge, my eyes were apparently fixed on the delicious Le Carnival steak. So, what? The last testimony the court heard has proven one thing beyond all reasonable doubt. This witness, Sergeant Yesunusa, did not see the defendant firing a gun at all. That's absurd. I think the conclusion must show simple. There is no place for an amateur prosecutor here in this grand courtroom. It's been a complete turnabout in the middle of this trial. Just on that one discrepancy. So this is what being an ace attorney is all about. Oh, credits. But after I saw him, the university cadet Emperor was pointing the firearm at directly the victim's back. But I never fired the gun. All I did was pick it up off the floor. And you, old man, you didn't see the moment the victim was shot either? Myself, I have only been quite clear. The gunshot interested me not. I was far too busy on the floor. Too busy on the floor. Sorry, what were you doing? Hunting for treasure. Treasure? Indeed. The Hoey Kaban. My prize coin. On each occasion when I visit that restaurant, it's my habitude to place in my bosom pocket a particular trinket of interest for my shop, Asutag, in the hope of meeting a rich diner who would like to buy it. On the day under scrutiny, it was to the military man that I preferred my Hoey treasure. Believed that he would purchase such a rare find, I did not, but I was presented with little alternative, and then, after averting my eyes for the briefest of moments, it was there no more, it simply vanished. The Koban vanished. Hunting around under the table, I was, in case mayhap hit one, then it happened. You heard the gunshot. Indeed I did. But I heeded it not, for I was concerned only with finding my absconded Hoey treasure. Nothing could distract me. Out of interest, did you find the coin in the end? No. I see. That lamentable day, the precious Hoey Kaban was lost to me. No doubt some unscrupulous scoundrel pocketed the prize coin for himself. As I'm sure everyone present is aware, this case demands a swift and decisive resolution. Our government has promised to send a full report to Great Britain by telegraph this very afternoon. Nevertheless, the witness testimony the court has just heard was inconclusive. No matter how subservient our government feels it must be to the British, it would be unforgivable to deliver a verdict on this trial right now. What is your position, Prosecutor Ouchie? Why not, Your Excellency? The defendant may have fled the tiger at the front gate, but we can find the wolf at the back. My witnesses have further testimony to make. Explain. Upon hearing their next statements, it will become abundantly clear that there is only one person who could possibly have committed this despicable crime. The equally despicable defendant Rinosuke Naruhodo. What? He really seems to have a despicable opinion of you, doesn't he? Very well, the court invites the witnesses to testify again. They'll fully explain the reasoning behind the prosecution's allegation. Is that clear? As clear as can go, Glass, Your Excellency. Yes, sir, I want, sir. I'm waiting to signal to testify, sir. Excuse me, but there's something or someone peeking out of your shoulder, I think. Affirmative! Newest member of the Nosa family to rise up through the ranks, sir. Name Ido. It would seem this shouts a son of the sergeant being too strapped to follow nanny. Ido, attention! Your father's about to quell the enemy. Watch and learn, my boy. Even if what I saw wasn't the precise moment the firearm was discharged, it's almost the same thing. Yes, pointing his gun at the fine man he was. That young lad in black. How much I myself did see. I love them constantly changing the voice from. It's been so long since I played this game, I don't remember what voice I gave him last time. Yeah, I'm probably going to need to press there. Here's this money. Wait! That's nonsense. The victim, Dr. Wilson, wasn't alone at all. Please, enough of these outbursts already. But if there was a woman, there was a young woman at his table. You must have seen her. Everyone there must have seen her. You call yourself a lawyer, and you respect the rules of the court and speak accordingly. We're not here to listen to your fantasies. It's evident beyond a reasonable doubt that the victim was alone at the time of the incident. and prosecution has photographic evidence of this fact.
Is this a photographic print of the scene of the crime, Counsel?
Indeed, of the table on which the victim was dining, taken by an investigator immediately after the incident. As can plainly be seen, there is only one place set.
Certainly, based on the appearance of this print, it would be reasonable to conclude that the victim was not in the company of anyone else.
Doesn't make any sense.
The court will add this new photographic evidence to the court record.
I don't understand what's going on here. It's just not possible that nobody else saw it. The waiter reports the same thing. He maintains that Dr. Wilson came to the restaurant alone as well. And that's not true. I saw her. It's when I saw a woman with him.
Would seem that we'll be able to telegraph the report to Great Britain on time after all. Witness testimonies we just heard leave no further room for doubt.
These are very sensitive political times, as we all know. The ink is still fresh on the treaty with Great Britain. Bring that eye. Takatsuchi Aoji will have contributed to the amity of these two great empires in honor. How can this be happening? The judge is ready to rule.
Stand tall, Ryunosuke. It's not over yet.
What? If what you say is true, then there's something going on here behind the scenes. And now is your chance to expose it, to draw out the truth in your cross-examination. I don't know, Kazuma.
The defense is entitled to cross-examine the witnesses, but make it quick, understood?
Those can be so unbending at times. Even if I saw wasn't the precise moment in the firearm was the charge is almost the same thing.
Yes!
No, it's not the same thing at all. For a start, I didn't find that gun. I don't think so. Consider this, defendant. Just a moment ago, I blinked. Did you? Did you see it? Did you see me blink? How could I? And yet, it is an undeniable fact that I did blink. So there you have it.
Have what? Attention! The sound of firearm rang in my ear, and the very next moment, I saw you waving the gun at the Englishman.
Yes, pointing his gun at the phone man. It's something with a new photo.
Yes!
You must have noticed someone else at Dr. Wilson's table was a lady there. As you have been at pains to point out time and time again, I feel I'm growing a chorus in my ear. More people dying at the time. So I also noticed that. Fortunately, it was like past 2 PM when it happened. Quiet time between lunch and dinner in the restaurant. I know, of course the place was almost empty. It's what you'd expect.
What a clinic! Yes, it would indeed appear to be an entry for the date in question. 19th November, noon to past 1 p.m.
The very 19th. So the victim went for a late lunch following his appointment. The explanation couldn't be more simple. The prosecution felt no need to submit this evidence before, as it really has no bearing on the case.
I wonder. What do you think, Inosuke?
Well, it is hard to see what could be related to it.
Remember, you can request for it to be entered into the court record as evidence if you think it could be useful.
Should I ask for Dr. Wilson's medical record? Yeah, ask for it to be submitted.
Yes!
If I may, I'd like to ask for that medical report card to be submitted as evidence. On what grounds? The court has already heard conclusive witness testimony. Additional evidence would be extraneous. Not to mention that the victim's movements prior to the arrival of the restaurant are of no concern.
Whether or not they are of concern is up to us to decide. We have a right to explore all possible avenues.
I beg your pardon?
We have no authority to refuse a perfectly valid request for the submission of evidence. Very well. The court will grant the defense's request.
Youngsters these days are forever asserting their rights. It's a most disturbing trend.
Officer, kindly add the victim's medical report card to the court. What we need right now is clues. We have to explore things from every possible angle, even if they don't seem relevant to us. Right, I hear you.
You can inspire to prolong this trial as much as you like.
Yes!
So you actually saw that with your eyes, did you? The victim, Dr. Wilson, dining alone?
That I did. Forgive me for the position I place you in.
Some testimonies of the old man, the soldier, and the waiter all agree on that point. Isn't that interesting?
No. And tasty, and the sergeant and the waiter who testified before. Impossible in all light. But if so, then why? If I'm perfectly honest, I have absolutely no idea.
Yes!
Nope.
Didn't think so. Excellent work, Inosuke. We've gleaned some new information now. Well, yes, but I don't feel like it changes much. I see that brings any real discrepancies to light. I wouldn't be so sure. Have you seen a medical report card you got before?
Oh, you mean this? Yes, this is a brand new piece of evidence. Perhaps we should examine it in more detail. Yeah. You'll notice that some pieces of evidence appear in magnifying glass. These are the ones you make examine. Alright, I'll see what I can do. Medical report card required for every visit. Dentist, heart clinic. Let's have a look. This is some kind of medical history. Ah, and it's an entry for the day the professor's killed. It's actually a mirror over topical anesthesia. Extraction of molar. You mean he had a tooth taken out? It seems so. Just before the incident, he'd had a bad tooth removed. Perhaps he used laughing gas. Oh. That's the most modern practice in the West for pain relief. Yes, I've heard of this anesthesia. Although it's hard to believe there's anything that can actually stop you feeling pain. Ah, there's a cautionary note from the medical practitioner as well. So if you no food or drink besides water for 3 hours for this procedure. Until anesthetic effects are passed. Really? Sounds like information worth bearing in mind. Hearing this new information means that one particular statement completely changes. So I think it's time we listen to testimony again, don't you? Definitely. Present.
Yes!
Well, I think...
About what are you returning, lad? Call yourself a lawyer.
I wish I could, but first and foremost here, I'm the accused. Inosuke, everyone stumbles on their words occasionally. Under the circumstances, I wouldn't worry about it. Thanks, Kazuma. I could see it quite clearly in that cross-examination you just carried out. When you raised your hand straight up like that, so purposefully, you knew exactly what it was you wanted to say. I don't feel like you have to choose your words carefully. Just say what you're thinking. Alright, and thanks for the advice. Karakuta-san, this is a medical report card belonging to the victim.
Oh, I see, and I don't see. What of it, boy?
Comparing what is written on this report card with your witness statement. Something clearly doesn't add up. Dear me. Have you forgot my words so soon, Yamacha? Sorry, what? You are not to interrupt court proceedings with your amateurish drivel. Let's see if I can explain in words you might understand. It was after 2 p.m. in the afternoon when the victim was murdered at the restaurant. Whatever he may or may not have done before that time is completely irrelevant. Remember, Inosuke, you don't have to use clever language or fancy words. Just make your point. Your Excellency, I believe we're finished here. There's surely no need to prolong this trial further. The witness testimonies the court has heard have been clear and concise. This medical report card has no bearing on the matter at all.
For the simple reason that there is no one else besides the pale-faced pupil who could possibly perpetrate the crime. This medical report card has nothing to do with the case. Do you really believe that? What? That outburst how petrified me, boy. Of course I believe it. How could it possibly be relevant? Perhaps because Hotter Clinic, which issued the report card, is a dental clinic. A dental clinic? Is that supposed to mean something to me? Perhaps if I told you that the victim had just had a tooth extracted?
What's this now?
And furthermore, if I told you that as a result the victim had been forbidden from eating?
Just what are you trying to say, Cadet? He had orders not to eat, so what?
It's all written up in here. No food or drink other than water for 3 hours post-procedure while anesthesia wears off. What? No, that can't. Karakuta-san.
What boy? What?
As you just heard, when he was killed, sometime shortly after 2 p.m., the victim couldn't have been eating anything at all. Additionally, you have assured the court with unwavering self-confidence that the victim was dining alone. But that cannot possibly be the case, because the victim, as we now know, had just had one of his teeth extracted and was still experiencing the effects of the anesthetic. Expertly done, partner.
Objection!
What's this nonsense, you little upstart? These are baseless accusations. Just look at this photographic evidence. You can clearly see the plate of food and the victim's teeth. Use your head. And that's the very discrepancy we're talking about. Can't you follow logic? How dare you? I think it's fair to say that the tables in this restaurant case are turned. Wouldn't you agree, Ryunosuke? Yes, most definitely.
So having just undergone some dental surgery, the victim was unable to eat. Which leaves one very crucial conundrum. Who, in fact, was eating the pictured beefsteak? The court will hear the opinion of the defense in this puzzle. I assume you're ready, counsel?
God damn it, perfect time for a voice crack. Counsel? Oh, nah, that means me, doesn't it? Alright, the answer to this question is going to be pivotal. This is the start of you turning this trial around. Show them what you're made of. Got it. So, the person eating the steak at the victim's table must have been, and as of yet, unknown party, or one of them. You will not let this go, will you?
Yes.
No one knows the person. There was, because I saw her. When the incident occurred, we know that the victim couldn't have been eating anything. Yet we have evidence of a half-eaten steak on his table. Therefore, the only logical conclusion is that there was somebody else there eating it. We have strong evidence to support our assertion, as clearly witness testimony is unreliable. If the court decides to push for a ruling at this stage, we will lodge a formal complaint with the Ministry of Justice and pursue a fair retrial, relentlessly.
Kazuma!
Are you insane? You would take on the government? Don't worry, Counsel. I have no issue with you. What do you mean? I have issue with them, those two witnesses instead. We have demonstrated with evidence that the victim was not alone. So, if it now turns out that the two of you deliberately lied when giving your testimonies, obviously you will be charged with perjury.
Perjury?
And, since this is murder, You will also be deemed complicit in the...
Complicit? Murder? No!
Negative. There was no mention of this at the tactical meeting. I was just following orders.
As well as the man says, just say you never saw the gentlewoman. That's what they, don't... Oh.
What? What did you just say, Karakuta-san?
Oh, no.
You were just following orders.
No, hold on, lad. I was,
Say you never saw the gentlewoman. When you say gentlewoman, do you mean you saw the victim with a lady from overseas? What?
Objection!
What's the meaning of all this? These witnesses gave false statements? Is this true, you pair?
just one simple time. Order! Counsel, explain what is going on here.
It's painfully clear now. You tried to prevent these witnesses from telling the truth. Absolutely not. The prosecution knows nothing of this. And who's behind this? Who tried to make you keep your mouths shut?
I'm classified.
So you're prepared to be tried as conspirator for the murder, are you?
What is happening?
Inosuke, judging from the way that we reacting to this, I'd say there was sworn to silence with some considerable influence. However, I didn't believe Aochi had any idea about it. What are you saying? I mean, to wield that kind of influence? There's only a handful of possibilities. It's only been the government, the military, or the police, I suppose. Well, any ideas about who might be behind this? We can affirm who tried to silence these witnesses, then we can continue our pursuit. So we need to name whoever it was that tried to make the witnesses keep their mouths shut. Of course, we need evidence before we make any firm accusations. Evidence that proves whether it was really did wield this his or her power here. But how? How can we possibly... Remember how we made progress before? Before? We examined this piece of evidence in more detail and found a new clue as a result. Oh, yes, that's right. Well, that's not the only piece of evidence we have, is it? We need to re-examine everything and make sure there's nothing we've missed. This plan of the restaurant raises a number of questions, I think. Definitely. It's supposed to show the relative position of everything in the moments following the incident. There's nothing to show the woman you say you saw her. You mean you don't remember those conferences? Study harder, Inosuke. There's no time to lose.
I want answers. If it's proven that these witnesses have been manipulated, I assure you the penalty will be severe.
Please, wait, Your Excellency. I have no idea about any of this. I swear to every Shinto god. I know nothing.
And what does the defense have to say about all this?
Well, Your Excellency.
I think... Just gonna have to close my eyes and shower the person that comes out.
Besides the prosecution, the only person with necessary influence to manipulate the witnesses.
Yes!
Well, surely that would be Satoru Hosonaga-san.
Hosonaga-san? The waiter who told us stand earlier?
Attention!
Poppycock! What possible reason would the waiter have to make these witnesses get through? Sorry about that. Not to mention the fact that even a head waiter could not possibly have that level of influence. For once, I would agree with you. If, that is, the man truly were a waiter. What? It really were? Come on, Renosuke, time to discover the truth. The truth about Satoru Hosonaga-san's real identity is proven by this evidence. Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau.
Yes!
Not sure what this is supposed to prove, Counsel.
I think, Your Excellency, that what this proves is not the true nature of the waiter, but the true nature of the accused. What? That wasn't it?
Yes!
Yeah, I'm not sure. Oh, you gotta examine it first. There we go. On the front it stated that Hosonaga-san is a police investigator.
Yes!
The plan of the restaurant sketched by the man in question, in my view, shows a great deal of attention to detail.
Sorry, Your Excellency. That's the back of the card. It's the back of the card that's of interest.
I beg your pardon?
Or perhaps I should have said the front. Yes, it's the front of the back. Good English now. Wait, that's Japan. Yeah, my brain just short-circuited.
Would somebody please explain what this other excited student is trying to say?
Hosonaga-san sketched a plan of the restaurant on the reverse side of his business card. The front of that business card reveals the man in question's profession. His true profession.
The waiter's profession? Well, that's surely... Good gracious!
That's right, Your Excellency. The card reads, Chief Inspector, Primary Criminal Investigation Division, Imperial Police Bureau. What? No way he was a police detective?
So, witnesses there in the stand. Was it in fact the waiter who gave you your orders? Was it he who told you not to mention that you'd seen this foreign gentlewoman at the scene? Inspector Hosanaka? I was worried something like this might happen. The moment you asked me to submit my sketch as evidence, I realized that was a possibility. Yes, I remember now. He acted strangely when the judge asked him to hand over his business card. So, you mean to say, really, I'm a detective? If I was a detective, be working as a restaurant waiter. Ah, of course, you're saying that I was working undercover. Undercover? Yes, there have been a series of incidents at the restaurant recently. In order to investigate, I decided to get a job there as a waiter, working undercover. Incidents at the restaurant? What kind of incidents? Not to be classified police information, which I'm not at liberty to divulge. However, I can state categorically that they are unrelated to this case of homicide. As I suspected. So the truth comes out. What if this Englishwoman was a killer? But it's not right. One possibility does spring to mind. What do you mean, Kazuma? Yuma University is currently hosting a number of exchange students from Great Britain. I'm fairly certain that one of them, studying in the medical faculty's research laboratory, is a young Englishwoman. You're a shrewd man. I see why you're a chosen candidate for the overseas study tour. English woman sitting at the university professor's table was a certain Miss Giselle Brett. She is indeed a foreign student studying in the research laboratory of Yuma University's medical faculty. Very well, my thoughts on the matter are as follows. Thus far, the case presented to the court has been underpinned by a particularly critical premise. However, as we have now discovered that this premise is false, it would be a desecration of our justice system to ignore the truth and give a ruling.
Objection!
But, Your Excellency, are we missing the new deadline of ruling in order to send the telegraphic...
Calm yourself, Counsel. Do not allow the government of our country or any other to influence the proceedings of my court. Inspector Hosonaga.
Yes, sir.
You will locate this Giselle Brett and escort her to the courtroom with the utmost urgency. At once, Your Excellency.
But that means you'll be going against special orders you were given from the police bureau.
As I said before, it is my guiding principle to carry out all investigations flawlessly.
So it won't be a problem.
Nothing will get in my way.
Yes, Your Excellency.
Good, then we'll have 30 minutes recess. Reading. Excellent work, Venusuke. That was superb. My heart's on my mouth the entire time. It was almost unbelievable. I mean, looking at you there. You were drenched in sweat, your eyes popping, your knees knocking, and you were grinding your teeth. It was a grim sight, but before I knew it, you started finding inconsistencies in the testimonies. I think you might have a natural talent for being a lawyer.
Forget it! Just have Frank. If I can do this, I don't ever want to see the inside of the courtroom again.
Anyway, it looks like we've exposed your phantom lady at last. Mrs. Giselle Brett, a student from Great Britain, you see?
That's what I was trying to tell him from the start. Dr. Wilson wasn't alone. There was a young woman with him. Like I've been saying all along.
Yes, you have, haven't you? I might not be overly confident in the court, but my powers of observation... clearly not reading. I might not be overly confident in the courtroom, but my powers of observation are one thing I'm certain of. I just slipped on observation twice. Yes, I can see that. So about this young gentleman. Thanks, our detective friend. She was hastily escorted away from the scene, it seems. Did you see what happened to her?
No, I didn't see any of it.
I was just on my way out of the restaurant myself. And on the floor next to Dr. Wilson's table, I noticed there was a gun lying on the floor, and just after I bent down and picked it up... First thinking by the detective. He apprehended the suspect without a moment's delay. Yes, and because I was trying to punch it. But no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. The pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as lawyer in this trial. Our modern country is still in its infancy. Our justice system, even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. Wanting to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Do I otherwise? I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend about the worst crisis alive. I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma! Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. To me? Yes, you need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, do you know the victim? Yes, I did. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we are going up against. And the gentlewoman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Yes, I'm sure the prosecution were using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight right to the last. Best of luck. Thank you. Now then. I need you to run an errand at the university, of course. Something I think we may need. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo, court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once. It's time. Let's get back to it, partner. What's going down the other side of below? What those old fossils near us hidden? Kazuma? What? Thank you. Really. What for? Well, you hadn't said you believed me, then at least I'd already been found guilty. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer and as a friend. Coming from you, that means what? If I'm found guilty of this trial, he is really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. So this isn't just my value. What we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then, I'll save the thank yous for after the trial. You can treat me from those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on the University Street. We're an extra large portion, please. The court hereby resumes the trial of Inosuke Naruhodo. Prosecutor Aochi, have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Sorry, not really. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. Nothing to worry about.
It's very unlikely that the good relations and forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. Do you still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation flounders?
Was that a pun or can founders be used as a way to say if the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Venus King.
What do you mean?
A secret trial? The anxiety over some foreign government's opinions? A bungled investigation? Missing witnesses? Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England?
Shut up, you jumped-up rugby boy! You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we've become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Steady political maneuvering is what will secure our futures.
I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student. One who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there is one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Well said, Renosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror.
You little brats!
Thank you, Counsel. This court is a pinnacle of our nation's justice system. It exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. A visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Lamprett.
Yes, Your Excellency. Well, what delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land.
Tea! Some bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea.
So, ahem. Can we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation with the court?
Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Canova.
Yes, we know all about you already.
Inspector Hosonaga, where are your manners? In England, it's always ladies. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are one thing you show. Oh, yes, I think I did, didn't I? Yet your description for this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Renosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty.
So, dear lady, once again, may I trouble you for your name and occupation, please?
Oh my god, I love the fact now it's got in cursive.
I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but... What?
The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She is a visiting research student currently enrolled in New Maeve University's medical facility.
Oh my, what a fair treat to hear the dulcet tones of the language of the British people. I really don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song.
As far as I can tell, the detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. English doesn't matter you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Renosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking a stand. Now if we may trouble you to confirm something. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnival, a grim murder took place. Orders been led to believe it was done now the victim, Dr. Wilson. Is that correct? She says, yes. Could take some time. So even though she is studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese. She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She said she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting when you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the Bureau. Well now, dear lady, maybe so kind of cast your eyes over this photographic print. Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of the wicked perpetrator, perhaps? Apparently it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say... Yes, it would appear the lady did witness a crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right in the courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Order! Order in court! Did you hear that, Your Excellency? May we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement? Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Unfortunately, I will have to ask you to formally testify, if you please. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and so forth sight you described. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson. The professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered for myself only, a beefsteak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and they got into a fierce argument. And not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit.
Yes!
No, I didn't have any kind of argument.
Objection!
Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard! Look at this Snow White angel! Shame the dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court can believe. You're still making the same mistakes, Rinosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. But he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the two witnesses who testified before and reported back to the Bureau. Figured I might as well get back to it since I realised I could just use my own voice for things due to the fact that being from Manchester has left me with a bit of an accent. Testimonies of the last two witnesses were completely worthless. Well, even so, on the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there was nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Unless and until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot. There are no pockets in my outfit, I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are witness's own words on the matter. It's ridiculous. When he was allowed to lift up a... Don't think about doing anything rash, Rinosuke. But I didn't fire the gun I picked up. There must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that, which means this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart.
The defense may now cross-examine the witness.
Oh, yes, Your Excellency. The professor wasn't able to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beef steak. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor and got into a fierce argument. Not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot my brothers.
Yes!
After 2 PM, in fact. It was really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are on vogue, isn't that right? I had mine at 11, so no. No. Decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. Such as apparently a daily occurrence, and they would eat lunch together. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card that was submitted as evidence earlier.
Yes, that all makes perfect sense.
Such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this final gentlewoman is. So, you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next?
Yes!
He wasn't able to eat, you say. And that was because he just had a tooth removed at Harter Clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She'd heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who made the state pitch there. Is that right, Miss Brett? Exactly as it was left. Dear me, what a harrowing experience. To have travelled to a distant island on the far side of the world and be involved in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. This fellow will crush the evil fiend that has subjected you to this terrible plight. Is this woman Dolly's ancestor? So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all? That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water. Each raise a glass of carbonated water. It's meaningful because there was no blood in the picture. Another statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case. Well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing? The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony. Well sidestepped, counsel. Which one? I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Reno's Cave.
ordered a beefsteak for myself, and the professor and I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water.
Yes!
That was just a stab in the dark. That's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, that is... Dear me, what sort is the defense's inability to express itself? Who knows, Kate? What is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. Because there's only one glass there. The cheers? Miss Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. You're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass.
Objection!
How are you supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on the case? Minutiae, you say? Could it be that the detective here removed the glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not! I'd never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try and tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. I simply took 2 glasses to the table. Inspector, what did the lady say? It seemed that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was all so terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been at all, she's saying. Good gracious! Sorry. Now, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at will. Oh, please. You must remember that this student had just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. You could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in a state of disarray. That's absurd. Oh, really? So do we take it that you're now going to accuse this vulnerable young and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how Lady took the glass from the scene. Because of the Edgeworth vibes he's given off, I'm trying to give him a similar voice to him. It seemed that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. The beautiful lady has very graciously explained how might you move the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end, it comes to nothing. Hey, logic's the best solution. If you think with emotion, you're almost going to be... the solution's clouded with bias. Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation. Well... I don't know, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. So she took the glass away in her handbag. There's a deeper significance there. It's the handbag. Or was it the glass? Oh. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too. What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard? It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't find that gun, you can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. A true murder weapon, if you will. You can't seriously be suggesting... Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Did you or did you not search Mr. Zaildred's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag. No. Order, order, order. What is the meaning of this, Inspector? The meaning of what, Prosecutor Alfie? Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag and show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations. Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Cosmo? Well, what a sorry situation. Clearly you have no faith in the police. As I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary in what way? I want to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I'd completely forgotten about. It is photographic. This print is of a photograph, and I thought it would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag, and a burn on his vest. Which looks like the one on the back of my head. So the contents are clearly visible. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt. Thank you for helping to prove that now heard her son. Order, order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. Think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel? The court has now been shown considerable evidence. As the photographic print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance, indeed, and there's only one logical conclusion. And the pathetic rookie slumbered on the bench there before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No.
Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, the worst situation I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Inosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? I must say, you put up quite a fight for a rookie student, but the weaker meat while it's strong eat. This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance now of turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about that last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Right there.
Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
It seems we will be able to report to the British government on time after all.
That smug little Inosuke Nahodo, having considered all of the evidence.
Wait, Your Excellency. Inosuke. I don't think you can wrong. This amaterishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling.
Yes!
Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. As the photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance, there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem in the evidence, some significant detail, then ruling on this case at this time would be out of the question. This is blatant straw clutching. Look at this photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentlewoman was carrying on the day in question. You better know what you're doing, Inosuke.
I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly the new evidence submitted by the detective is not going to know.
My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is... Yes, I am desperate. This isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. How about I get that gavel and whack you on the head? It's kind of funny how he's a penultimate villain.
Final ruling. Oh, you've got 5 goes, sir.
Yes!
Look at this here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist.
That is true. Looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist? Yes, that is a burn mark, you're right.
Go on, Inspector.
Ah! Which fucking cat was that?
Dormitch is currently on the stairs, it seems. Got fucking jump scared by the cat. She gives me a mix of Dahlia and Red White vibes. Of course, dear lady. We shan't hold you up any longer. Quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyway. What's your thinking on this, Inosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. If I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in hope that I might uncover some useful. Yes, you're right.